Lesson 34, how did Jesus lead? Well, the short answer is he led as a shepherd. And we're going to be dipping into John chapter 10, verses 1 through 21. Now, throughout the Bible, shepherds they're everywhere. And in real life, shepherds they were kind of on the lower end of the social totem pole. They were dirty, they were itinerant, people didn't really trust them. But in theological terms, starting, I suppose, with Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, God is a shepherd. Abraham, the father of the nation, what was his occupation? He was a shepherd. David, the greatest king, was a shepherd. Moses, the lawgiver and really the founder of the nation, was a shepherd. So shepherds are everywhere. And when shepherds are good shepherds, they're good leaders. When shepherds are bad shepherds, well, then you get like Ezekiel 34, a devastating critique of the leaders of Israel using people for their own benefit. Let me read to you a snippet from the most famous shepherd of all, King David. He chose David, his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds. From following the nursing ewes, he brought him to shepherd Jacob, his people, Israel, his inheritance. With upright heart, he shepherded them and guided them with a skillful hand. What David did out in the field was preparation for what he would do on the throne. This concept of watching over sheep that are helpless, sheep that need guidance, sheep that need feeding, it became a model of leadership for God's people, even into the New Testament. Not only is Jesus a shepherd, but actually the leaders of the church are called shepherds. And so we want to take a page out of Jesus' book of how to lead. And in this passage, we see three things that Jesus does that we should do in leading sheep, whoever God puts in your care. You might be a parent, could be your kids. If you're a teacher, it's your class. If it's a coach, it's your team. But whoever you're leading, here are the three primary obligations, at least according to Jesus. Number one, he knows his sheep. John 10, verses 1 and 2. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs in by another way, that man is a thief and a robber, but he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To know your sheep, you need to call them by name. So if you're a pastor, you should know people's names, or a teacher or a coach. Knowing not just their name, that's where it begins, but knowing their heart, their dreams, their hopes, their personalities, their strengths, their weaknesses. That's the job of a good leader. Because we don't just take people where they need to go. We lead them in a way that they can follow. And that begins by knowing people. Number two, Jesus provided life. John 10:10, it was the center of an earlier lesson on the purpose of Jesus' life. He comes to give life and life to the full. What are you doing as a leader that makes people's lives better? For some, it means providing health care on a job. For others, it means providing counsel. For others, it means bandaging a skinned knee or informing them of something they need to know. But leadership ultimately is not about your authority, but about your ministry. What are you doing to make their life full now? The third thing, and this is hard for a lot of people, it was the center of what Jesus did. He sacrificed himself for his sheep. This is the most common repetitive theme through this section. I'm going to read one example. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. For Jesus, that was literal. He went to a cross for our sins. For us as his followers, he tells us you have to take up your cross and follow me. Why? Because if you're going to lead like Jesus, it will always require sacrifice. Sometimes that looks like a mother staying up at night with a sick child. Sometimes that means a boss working late, helping people with a project. For other times, it means giving up your own finances, your time, your talent, so that other people can have a full life. Leadership, the best leadership, is servant leadership. And it truly started with Jesus when he led Israel and us like a shepherd and calls us to imitate what he does for others.